Welcome to the Warriors Den. Damien's having a good day.
We're having fun.
Damien did 2 PowerPoints before we started this show, and he is happier than I've ever seen him.
That's the only reason why.
So sad.
And maybe it's because it will be a good one. Today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here, let me borrow this for a second.
You don't want to speak about that?
Last minute edit that I got from Pascal on our screen over here that you can't see.
Okay.
Hey, welcome to Warriors Den. We've got a great show today, actually. We have a lot to talk about. A lot. Before we get into it, this last weekend we did another public test.
Yes.
On tribute mode, which we showed previously on the show here. I'm personally very excited about that mode. I've had a lot of people in the community come up to me and tell me that it's their new favorite mode.
That's cool.
It's also maybe my new favorite mode. It's just really fun. Things can change very dynamically.
Yeah, we're playing it a lot internally those past days.
Yes, actually, I played against him and kicked his ass.
Ouais.
That's not true. You actually killed me more than I killed you. My team won, but he did better. We didn't even mention our friend the Kensei is here.
Yeah, that's mine.
This is a
I
pretty incredible Kensei statue that we just got today in the mail from one of our licensees. You can buy this. There's only 50 in the whole world. If you want to buy one, you're welcome to do so. It's amazing.
We have the number 00.
Yes, we're very lucky. But yes, the PTS for Tribute went really well. Thank you for everybody who participated and gave feedback. The team is now working based on that feedback to make some changes before this goes into the game. So it'll still be a little while before it gets into the game. But now that we have the feedback, we know what we want to change.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So thank you to everyone who participated. The PTS, we're going to continue to do those. I don't know when the next one is just yet, but you'll find out here when we do one. We've talked in the past, Roman has mentioned he wants to do it for balance stuff. I think you want to do one when we're ready to do dedicated servers, maybe. So
that could be
stay tuned. That could be good to test before we go live with those. So stay tuned. There's lots of interesting stuff coming up in that world. But yes, the big juicy bit of the show today is our next patch and live update.
Yeah.
It's coming next Thursday the 5th. It is our big season patch. We call it TU3 internally. It's version 1.14 for you, and it's going to come with a live update. So there's a lot in there, and that's going to be mostly the focus of the show today, but that's not all. We have some guests as well. So we'll get into that in a few minutes. So stay tuned. There is definitely stuff you want to hear about. People who like to yell at me about things like the Centurion, you might be interested to see what's here. People who are sad about our Warlord nerf, you might want to see what's here.
Yeah.
But way more as well. I'm excited. But there's also stuff going on right now in the world of For Honor. Starting tomorrow, we have another one of Mr. Damien's generous XP Fest. Double XP.
Yeah, double XP. You were asking a lot for it to come back. It's back starting tomorrow to celebrate fall.
Through
Summer
Monday.
is gone in Montreal now. We lost
Finally.
we lost 20 degrees today.
It's crazy.
So let's celebrate that.
Yesterday it felt like Hawaii in Montreal.
Yeah.
Today it feels like fall in Montreal.
It feels like Montreal.
As it should. But yeah, enjoy the double XP. I know that people have been asking when's the next one, when's the next one?
Yeah.
It's now. It's starting tomorrow. Through Monday. The current plan is to end it Monday the 2nd at 4. I think this is a typo on these. 4 a.m. Can you put the picture back up there, Max? I think it has the end time, maybe? Or maybe it just has the... 4 a.m. Eastern. Exactly. This one says 4 p.m. 4 a.m. Eastern is when that ends. So get your XP. And that's not all. Live right now, also from the generous Mr. Keegan, we're doing a steel sale.
Yeah, at the same time.
Yes.
30% off. This is for the whole week.
Yes, so any steel packs that are in the store are all 30% off.
Yeah, so it's also an opportunity for you.
Yes, that ends on the 3rd. So you actually have an extra day past the weekend to buy your steels.
If you want to get some champion
so XP,
status at the
steel,
same time.
there's a lot this weekend to dig into to play For Honor.
Yeah.
And as well, just came out today, we have our new content of the week. We have some new battle outfits. There are 3 different outfits at 3 different prices. There's the Cubist, you'll see in a second in the video. Cubist is 1,500 steel.
Yeah.
Fauvist is not a word that I know. 3,000 steel. And Minimalist, 5,000 steel. So let's check out the video, and afterwards, We're going to be back with our friend, our level designer friend, Edgard, to see what he has for us.
One of the news.
Let's check it out. Yes, cool outfits. And now we're back with Ed. And someone in the chat already knew what you're here to do.
Yep.
They scooped me.
Yep.
So Ed was on a couple months ago, a month and a half ago. He showed us the work he was doing, reworking some of the duel maps, the spawn locations, and being less ledgy.
Yeah.
What have you got for us today?
So after last time, I figured, okay, next step will be to look at the brawl maps. And so I asked for a bit of feedback, see what the community thinks so far. So most of the feedback that I got was people who very much wanted more of a close quarters brawl setup, as opposed to two different duel spots.
Two duels happening in the same map.
Which then turn into a 1v2, which can sometimes be interesting, depending. But I think it was very much worth looking into this. So the first thing I looked at was also the more problematic maps, because some maps actually did have a bit more ledging than I would have probably realized.
Okay.
So I think those were the first few maps that I really wanted to look into.
Cool.
So yeah, we can roll the video of the first map.
So the first map that we worked on was Canyon. So we can talk over the video.
So just a little on a side note, on a development side note, our camera specialist was on vacation during this time. So I also had to submit the stuff that didn't cause too much problems in terms of camera-wise, So this one in Canyon, a lot of people did not like fighting on that little bridge.
Right.
So the obvious step was to kind of bring both players into the cemetery area, and they can all duke it out. Nice. And so you have enough comfortable space to fight around the tombstones and all that, and it can go into a, 2v2, a real 2v2 as people like to call it.
Can they still back up into the bridge here?
The location hasn't changed, so nothing was really, it was just the spawners that were moved to make it, more of a close quarters brawl setup.
Great.
So I think people appreciate this a lot more than what we had before.
Cool.
So yeah.
All right, and let's go on to the next one. Which is
one.
Overwatch.
So Overwatch, if you guys remember, we changed the duel spots in that one. So I felt it was only natural to kind of remove those same issues that were present in duel in Brawl as well. So this one, instead of both players being on opposite bridges, which presented a bit of an interesting dynamic, but also had too many traps in it, I brought it down to the main lane area, which again, all 4 players will spawn there, and you can duke it out and have a close quarters brawl.
Well, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the third.
Yeah, we can move on to Sanctuary Bridge. Sanctuary Bridge, it was a bit of it was kind of awkward coming in, because you spawn on opposite sides of these like trap gates, and people would rush at each other, and right away you'd be met with ledges, and not only that, there was a catapult on fire in the middle. There was spikes that most people never noticed at nighttime, because you never see the spikes during the night. So what I did here is I changed the setup of the spawners so that you kind of have the main square of the middle of the bridge, that's what's now present as your fighting space. I removed all the spikes, and you'll notice where there was a hole in the bridge, I now placed a trap door over it, and that door will open after a certain amount of time.
Oh, cool.
So, you know, kind of to change things up a little if things are going on too long.
Nice.
Or if you're in a 1v2 situation, you can very much use that to your advantage.
Yeah, lure them onto there.
Yeah, so like I said, since our camera specialist was on vacation, you'll notice that these spots, they're not very different of where they were, so we could reuse the same camera.
Yeah.
Actually, what people are seeing right now in the camera setup is not what they'll see when we launch this.
Okay.
Because this is a new setup that we're using right now.
Oh, yeah?
So they're still going to have the old camera setup,
okay,
but it won't be drastically different of where it takes place.
Okay.
So our next maps that we're going to do in the future, those are already set up with the new cameras. So that's why we had to wait on those.
Okay, cool.
But I wanted to get these in as fast as possible for players.
So this is not the end of your crusade.
Nope. No. So
will you be going back to dual maps as well?
Yes. So next time around, when you guys see me again, we'll be talking about duels and brawls.
Great. So this stuff that we just showed you is in this next patch.
Yep.
Which we're talking about coming out next Thursday, the 5th. So starting next Thursday, you'll see these changes we just showed you in the game, which is awesome. And then the one you're going to probably be back for Season 4 to tell us about the additional maps. So thank you as always. I think people like it, like to see this sort of evolution and changes based on their feedback. So thanks a ton.
Yeah.
Roman wants to give you a high five. He appreciates it as well.
Yeah,
and do you want more feedback as well?
I'm glad to see that I didn't see any negative posts concerning the dual stuff that we did. So I think we're heading in the right direction on that side. I hope people are enjoying them, and I hope people enjoy these. And if there's anything, yeah, by all means.
I feel like the only negative reactions will be from the people that I enjoy that make our content. Legend people.
I will say one positive thing, though. It's kind of weird, but I feel that people have gotten really good at counter guard breaking because of all the ledges.
I think that's true.
So
out of necessity, they had to learn to get better.
I feel like they now have that in their skill set a lot. You know, it's a lot better than if, you know, maybe the legend wasn't present. Then, yeah. So, hey.
There you go. As designed.
Yeah, as designed. Yeah, that was our plan all along.
All right, thanks, Ed. Yeah. So that is it for Ed. Cool. We're going to be back with Bio with a Faction War update. And then, yes, after that, we will get into the patch notes. So thank you very much.
Awesome.
See you next time.
See you.
Jeez. Boots. Amazing shiny boots.
Well, it's a quick transition.
Very
I
quick
have
transition.
Zero time.
We used to get these cool videos that would show what happened in the Faction War that would give you plenty of time.
Yeah, but I don't have time now.
But, hey.
Hi.
Yeah, and you weren't on for the last round. So
I was on vacation. I took 3 days.
There have been 2 rounds that have ended since the last time you talked about the Faction War.
Yeah.
So we've just wrapped up round 3.
Good job.
I've done my research. Now go. So what's going on in the Faction War? Early on, the Knights were just dominating.
They were. It almost was the case again, but the Viking and the Samurai fought hard so that the Knight didn't win that round because it would have won the season, basically.
Right.
Which would be very sad. Yeah, it will be the first time it doesn't decide it in the last round. So I'm happy that it's not the case, because I would have to deal with lots of people talking stuff about me predetermining the end of the Faction War because the Knights need to win. Yep. So I don't have to deal with that.
Not yet.
Yet. So please, Knight, don't win, because it's going to be so much work afterwards. Otherwise, yes, the Samurai won. It was great. Nice fight. The Viking almost won the round also. If it was one more turn, the Viking would probably have won. It ended with 3 isolated territories from the Samurais, so meaning that they really pushed for attack, but they would have been fucked next turn. But it was the last one, so it's great to see the different strategy emerging. There was a lot of isolated territories this all round, actually. People are very aggressive this round on the Faction War. Yeah,
it's speaking of that, we had someone, actually this guy's a really good poster, I see him a lot in the community, he had a question about isolated territories.
Okay.
Candle in the Dark. believe he's an Xbox player. He was asking about
That's a nice name. It's very romantic.
Yeah, exactly. He's probably a very romantic
Very
name.
romantic.
He was asking about the isolated territories. Right. How do we determine who it's given to based on... I don't know. I'm like picturing the map in front of me as I'm doing this. I don't know.
So it's pretty much that. It's the faction that has the most territory touching that one that is decided. If it's exactly the same, then it's random, but never happened yet. So it's really about the faction that owns most territory, that touches that isolated territory whenever the faction that had it could not retrieve it.
Okay, so it's purely the number of territories touching it?
Yeah, exactly.
Not war assets?
No, not war assets.
Okay, cool.
Because you cannot deploy if you're not on the front.
Right.
So, you know.
Good point.
It's almost like I'm a game designer.
It's almost like that.
Almost like that. So that was a great question we had. I also had a question about comeback mechanics. I heard there is rumors on forums about a comeback mechanic for the faction that would be losing the round. There is no such thing.
Right.
It doesn't exist.
The rubber band mechanic conspiracy.
It doesn't exist. The only ponderation we do on the war assets is based on the amount of players in the factions. I've talked about that many times. Mm-hmm. This is the only time that we touch the war assets. Once the number is sent, no matter what's the result, how many territories they have, what round we are, it's all sent directly to the faction war, and it's all code, and we don't touch anything. So there is no rubber band. But the shape of the map makes it that everybody that auto-deploys, if you have lesser amount of territories, obviously it will be more concentrated. This is the only thing it does. So it's not rubber band whatsoever. Uh-huh. It's not a change. It's not a comeback mechanic. But obviously the geometry of the map makes it that if you have less territory, you have a fighting chance. But we don't touch the numbers.
And if I recall correctly, last time you were here, when the Knights had won, you said that they were the ones who had most used the new feature.
The War Banner, yeah.
The War Banner feature. Is that still the case? Is that still in play?
It is still the case. The Vikings are still the one that deploys the most manually. Okay. And the Knights, they use the faction, the War Banner the most, but it's becoming really, really close. Yeah. Last turn, I had a note here. The last turn of the round, there was a difference of 0.05% of war assets across all factions. So it's getting very close.
Wow, that's crazy. Cool. And as regards to next week's patch, there was one thing in there I thought you might want to talk about if you wanted to. Do you have this?
Yeah, I know what this is about.
You got it, okay. Don't want to spring it on you.
So we had, we wanted to improve the faction war on the fact that before, whenever you would play on the event playlist, you would not deploy war assets, basically, because you're not on the front. So we changed that, so whenever you play on an event playlist, you still generate war assets, and they will either be deployed across all territories or on your war banner. It's compatible with that feature. We didn't want people to have to choose between getting involved into the faction war or having to play on the event playlist because it's cool. Unique game modes or fun gameplay that we put in there, and we try different stuff, and it's great. So we didn't want people to have to make that choice. Right. Anyway, it made no sense. So we made that improvement that will be in the next patch.
Great, and that's next week as well. Cool. Okay, well, thank you for joining us. You'll be back in 2 more weeks for round 4 recap.
Yep. Please, Vikings, do something.
Yes, come on, Vikings. Please. All right, well, thank you, Beal. We will be back now with Roman and Damien to talk about our patch notes.
Where do I go?
They did not hurry to get onto the couch. Just
Why?
Slowly saunter in, take your time. Damien's lost.
You want to lie to the people on the fact that we actually have to work to sit on the couch, that we don't
They need to know that it's magic. That these are all pre-recorded segments that we do weeks in advance. Yeah, imagine that. Hey, this is a pretty good patch, actually. The patch notes are right here. It's 15 pages, I think. 13, 14, 15 pages. It's a lot of stuff. And we mentioned there's a live update as well coming alongside it. So to you, it's all going to be one update. But let's get into it. Shall we?
Shall we?
Shall we? There's a lot.
Okay, so let's start. Zone attack flicker. We have removed the flicker observed when launching zone attack. So basically, we took the modification we made on the PTS. We improved it because it was creating other issues of not being able to change zone attack with specific character or specific stances. So now it should be gone.
Good.
Why flicker was happening was because we were putting a big buffer on heavy attack to be cancelled into a zone attack in order to make the input easier to do. So we've removed a lot of that buffer. Let's see.
Great.
That's a big one.
That is a big one.
Yes, that's a nice one. Unlocks. Unlock text. So we've updated the targeting system for out of lock attacks, to ignore left stick angle no. What does that mean? So that should considerably reduce the number of unlock exploits that were still in the left in the game. Now it's going to be impossible to move away from a target and attack in a 1v1 situation. So if you have a valid target around you and you're trying to do an attack kind of like on the side of that target, it's going to reorient you in order to attack the target, removing most of the unlock issues remaining on the game. There are still some cases where that will still be possible. It's going to be really, really difficult to exploit intentionally. And as a consequence, also, we've updated rotation speed on some characters on attack, like Conqueror, Highlander, Shinobi, or Shugoki, to help with that.
Cool. So basically, it snaps you right to the target that you you're locked on.
You can't anymore exploit the system of trying to attack slightly on the side of somebody so that you can hit him with the end of the move. There are still ways and some issues where you can actually do it, but it's going to be much more difficult to do.
Cool.
Guard break, we've resolved an issue causing guard break to not connect when both heroes are fighting in the stairs. So that's a minor issue, but that was happening quite a lot in some maps, so that is gone.
Yeah, you could kind of, if you were really crafty, use it to your advantage if you're at different elevations on the stairs to no hits would connect. So that has now been fixed.
Also, what was known as host advantage. We fixed an issue where if two opponents hit specific abilities at the exact same time against each other, one player will be awarded the hit and the other will always be hit. So that fix affects the Raider Stampede Charge, Lawbringer Long's Arm, Lawbringer Sprint Attack, Shinobi Tackle, and so on. So that now should be gone. There should be no such thing as a host advantage.
So no longer will it be given to one over the other.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
That issue has created, by fixing that, we've created a minor issue where the Lawbringer Sprint Attack bump after stumbling his opponent near a wall. So that will be in the game. To fix that, we've added a specific recovery for that target bump in order to not change the gameplay of the Lawbringer, but it's creating that small issue. So if you notice that, that's because.
Okay.
Also, we fixed the bug with chip damage. Chip damage can no longer kill because of revenge, attack boost, or any other modifier. We had a bug where with some specific combination of feats, boost, or revenge, you would be able to kill with chip damage. That was not intended. We're still working on chip damage and the impact of the chip damage on the game, and that's going to come soon into the game. But that specific effect was not intended.
Right. So it doesn't mean we don't want chip damage to kill at some point, but if we do, we'll do it in a way that we intend.
Yes.
This is just a bug.
Exactly. Okay, one big bug that we fixed. Basically, it's more than bug fix, it's an optimization. It's the attack UI now appear much sooner. So we've able to win some frames in the delay between the start of the move and the pop of the attack UI. So you should have know the information as early as possible. It's 1 or 2 frames, depending on the case, but that should help a lot reading your opponent's attack.
Cool.
Also, another big bug fixed, the assassins now have the same condition for parry as non-assassins hero. That means that they can no longer parry wardens, crashing Counter-Strike, or Highlanders confirm it, etc. That was an issue that was in since launch, and now it's fixed.
Yep.
So that's cool. There's other bug fixes. You will be able to see it
In the full notes.
in the full notes. We've re-enabled the ability to spam some iconic emotes for certain hero, etc.
Yes, I mentioned that on the show last week because that one was close to my heart. So your Raz, so basically the Conqueror, Centurion, Lawbringer, Raider, and Orochi are getting their iconic emote sounds back.
Okay.
Roman, please talk louder, says
Yeah,
Pascal.
but I think you have an issue of microphone because everybody had issue. Thank you.
So what you're saying is fuck you, Pascal.
No, not exactly.
Oh,
it's thank you, Max.
Oh, thank you, Max. Wow. All right.
Okay, no character specific. So you will see in the full patch notes, there is a lot of minor bug fix on a lot of characters, like for example on the Warden, the right basic heavy attack now cause the opponent to be able to play the regular block animation anticipation, so the animation will glitch much less, etc. So I'm not gonna go into that full detail. What is important? What did we do? Oh, so let's start with Shinobi.
Shinobi's got some cool things going on.
Shinobi.
Which people noticed a little bit of in
Yeah,
the
so
BTS.
basically some of the changes that I'm gonna speak about today, some of them were in the PTS, not all of them.
Right.
So there is more stuff. So first, health of the Shinobi has been increased to 110. Used to be 90%, 90. Now it's 110. So that should give them a good bump. No, it's going to be at the level, a good boost. It's going to be at the level of other assassins. So that should help him survive more. And also, Shinobi has a lot of moves, like for example, on his kick or this kind of thing, where you want to trade, to be able to trade in order to interrupt your opponent or take the hit extra and then combo with your own stuff. And that low level of life was really making it tough. So that should help. Also, we've reduced the Shinobi window to bump the opponent with the tackle by 400 milliseconds. There is a lot of animation glitch and fixes on the Shinobi. But also the double dodge stamina cost has been decreased to 24, was 29. Double dodge kick stamina cost has also been decreased to 10, used to be 20. Backflip stamina cost has been decreased to 12, used to be 17. And front wall stamina cost has been decreased also to 12. Also, one last big thing is guard duration has been increased to 800 milliseconds, used to be 600 milliseconds. So overall, that should help a lot our Shinobi friends around.
Yep.
Then, Warlord. So Damien is sorry for what he did to the Warlord.
We decided to let Damien balance a character just for fun.
And
I hate the
obviously he went completely over the board. So he has already in this lab, don't be too hard on it. No, I'm joking. So
Now I will be
Warlord.
blamed for all balancing stuff that I don't work on. That's
He implemented
okay. That's
his
okay.
data.
I'm okay for that hat.
So, Warlord headbutt timing has been reverted to previous setup. Dodge forward into headbutt timing is no starts at 100 milliseconds again. Dodge recovery duration has been shortened from 700 milliseconds. And light side attack damage has been increased to 13, and counter stab damage has been increased to 12.
Yes. I just
Yes.
wanted to correct the dodge recovery duration is shortened from 700
To 600.
to 600.
Yes,
yeah.
sorry. Has been shortened by 100 milliseconds.
Yep.
So we've re-upped a little bit the Warlord. Obviously, he needed a nerf
Yes.
we went maybe a little bit too strong on the guy. So we heard your feedback. Also, the win-loss ratio that we were getting were consistent with that feedback. So yes, we made a mistake. We make that change. Hope know that it will be in a good spot.
Cool.
Okay. A lot of things. Excuse me. Getting there. Yes. Gladiator. So Gladiator. Bug fix. The dodge side movements slightly adjusted to address the unreliable Gladiator dodge. So we've made some adjustments on his dodge. Side dodge attack, also beastings and sucker punch are now launched at 300 milliseconds into the dodge. It used to be anywhere between 100 milliseconds and 400 milliseconds. Now it's going to be consistent. So the Gladiator was suffering from a problem where if you tried to side dodge an incoming attack and then counter, he would often stop and get hit by the attack. So these changes are intended to allow the Gladiator to avoid these strikes and better counter attack. So we'll see if it's good. Also, we fixed another thing, big thing for the Gladiator. When the opponents perform a light attack and the Gladiator performs a skewer deflect by deflecting that attack, the opponent was able to dodge the skewer deflect move. Now it is fixed. We have reduced the startup of that move by 200 milliseconds. It used to be 400. Now it's going to be 600. And we've removed the dodge window of opportunity. So that should fix the dodge and deflects of the Gladiator. If you have a slight adjustment,
I have a slight adjustment. It's just it is now 400. It used to be 600 for the skewer deflect.
From 600 to
From
400.
yeah, exactly.
Yes, excuse me.
That's what I'm here for. I don't have anything helpful to add.
So now he's going to continue and do the rest of the list.
Yes, well, let's see here the Orochi. We do have an Orochi thing. I don't know if you saw it. But...
Yes. You want to make it go on.
Oh.
Yes, make the Orochi one.
Okay. Hey guys, let's talk about balance. We actually have a bug fix for the Orochi's wind gust attack. We've increased the range to 3 meters, up from 2.5 meters. It was just a little thing because when the Orochi would fight the Shinobi could do a backflip, and there was an inconsistency between the wind gust of the Orochi after a dodge forward and, flips paper, dodge side. The wind gust on dodge side missed the Shinobi while on dodge front hits. Now the wind gust will hit the Shinobi no matter the dodge direction.
Speaking about the Shinobi, on the Gladiator, we fixed an issue that allowed the Shinobi to backflip out of the Gladiator deflect and grab him without the Gladiator being able to react. See? So we have a ton of other bug fix on the Gladiator. Gladiator can no longer fall off ledges after missing a skewer, etc. There's a lot of other things, but these were the major for the Gladiator. Okay, now the Centurion. I'm sorry, my boy. I did not manage to save you.
Your child, your poor child.
No, joking. Okay, so Nobushi. Nobushi can now counter guard break while in hidden sense. So we unintentionally removed the Nobushi ability to counter guard break in the previous patch, when we removed the Warlord and Conqueror's ability to counter guard break while in full block. Wow. Valkyrie was already unable to counter guard break from full block stance. No, for the Nobushi, that's fixed.
That is good.
She can now counter guard break. Okay, so Centurion. So we fixed the bug. Centurion now has his block defense return starting at 100 milliseconds after a feint, and his out of stamina run speed has been slightly reduced. Also, that's it.
Yeah, there's a lot more.
The charge heavy attack range has been decreased to 4.25 meters, used to be 5 meters. The charge heavy finisher range has also been decreased to 4.75 meters, used to be 5.75 meters. And the in-charge heavy finisher link into jab has been delayed by 100 milliseconds. Also, jab don't stagger on wall anymore. Normal jab miss recovery has been slightly shortened to 700 milliseconds, used to be 800. A normal jab stamina drain has been decreased to 30, used to be 40. So not only is jab slightly less effective, also that really high damage combo where you were able to jab somebody into a wall, stun him, etc. should be gone.
The wall stagger is a real big one.
Yes.
That's in terms of feedback that I read every day.
Also, one that was really important for me because it was not making the move really powerful, but it was making it really painful in a group fight scenario. We've removed the stun effect on the Legend Kick. Move still work exactly the same range, same stamina consumption, same bump on the guy, etc. Just you don't get the full stun. So basically, no fighting a Centurion that kick you, punch you, etc. You should see a little bit more the fight and a little bit less blur and sound. Also, Eagle's Talon stamina cost has been increased to 20. Used to be 12. So we still want that move to be powerful, but we want the follow-ups after that move to be a little bit more tactical, a little bit more. Have the player think a little bit more about it and be less spammy. So that move has also been increased. And the jab stamina cost of 12 should now work correctly.
So that was a bug.
Yes. That's it for that guy. Hope you like it. What do we have? Yes, like I was saying, we have a ton of bug fix. Raider, Warlord, Valkyrie. Like Valkyrie's opponent no play the right reaction into the Valkyrie's guard break, making him immune to other opponent's guard break.
It looks like a lot of them have the same fixes to sort of normalize the out of stamina run speed for characters and the block defense after a feint being a bit normalized.
There's been a lot of normalization, basically there have been a lot of cleaning into the characters graph in order to make everything slightly more cohesive. And apply some rules that we thought were working better on some character, apply them to all the characters and stuff. You will see, all are in the patch notes. Fits. So we fixed an issue where fits will not be unlocked when you level up with the renown gain from a multi-kill assist. So remember, we have that bug currently in the game where sometimes you don't unlock your fits.
Yes, that was bad.
That was linked based on our knowledge, that was fixed. That is fixed with that bug fix.
Yep.
It was linked to the multi-kill assist. We'll see.
Cool.
So some improvements on the boats.
I think Damien gets to talk now.
No, it's
No,
not
not
finished.
yet.
do those ones.
No, I still have plenty of stuff.
I'm trying, Damien. I'm trying to get you
it's
in
okay,
there.
it's okay.
Get you that FaceTime.
You're tired
love
of
hearing
me?
it.
No,
We
no.
can go if you want.
The people just
I
love
have
Damien.
nothing to do. I could go eat, for example.
No, keep going.
I will let him do all the cool stuff.
Okay.
Then
You do
and
the
bitch
very
on me, and then I
technical-
will do the bad ones. Yeah.
You're still sorry for the Warlord? Or?
I'm so sorry. So sorry.
So Brawl. So we've added the anti-runaway system to the Brawl game mode.
That's a big one.
So that will only trigger if one player is left in each team. So that gives a speed bonus to the pursuer and several debuff to the player that is fleeing. Additionally, the player who has the highest percentage of health will win at the end of the brawl. So basically, the improvement that we made on Duel, we will also make them to the... So the improvement that we made, Pascal is putting bullshit on the screen, so I'm sorry. Pascal needs
Good
to
job,
take a pee.
Pascal.
Yeah, thank you,
Go
Pascal.
pee. Go pee.
And apparently
So the
he
improvement
needs
that
2
we...
minutes to do
Yes.
that.
2 minutes
The
to pee.
improvement that we made, can we go back to business, please? The improvement that we made on the Duel will be made to Brawl only when there is only one guy alive.
So we're applying the dual rules when the brawl becomes a duel.
Exactly.
Great.
Not gonna do your online modification.
No, I will.
Go.
I do
No,
it
this is
now.
cool.
Yes.
Yay!
This is cool stuff.
Okay, school stuff. We did one thing. Not everyone is aware of that, but we're using the same MMR. So it's the ranking value we use to matchmake players. We're using the same one for Duel and Brawl.
Right.
So and mixing those two together. Now that we saw that it could be quite different from those two modes, we decided to split it. It took us quite some time because we had to redo the whole architecture of how it was done. But now you will have a different MMR on Duel and on Brawl for matchmaking purpose. So basically, your matchmaking should become more accurate on those two modes. I think there is a side effect of that, is that when you go now in your player profile, you're losing one of the two stats because they were mixed together and they are not anymore. We're updating it. The team is working on it now, but it won't be on that patch. Also, one of the things to continue improving the duel, one of the things we've done is that when one of the player leaves, now the other player win the duel right away. He doesn't have to play against a bot on the other rounds or things like that. So that's also a one that we got a lot of requests from the community. So
someone rage quits, you don't have to fight a bot, you get the win.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that anyone would do that.
So we did a first patch where you would get the round, but then you would have to beat a bot on the next rounds.
Right.
Now you really get the match. And
cool.
So that's a good one. We've buffed, I don't know if I can say that, we buffed the penalty quit by now taking it into account for the loss statistic. So you know now the only consequence of getting the penalty quit was to not be able to play for a few minutes, but now each time you quit and get the penalty quit, it will be accounted as a loss in your statistics.
Good.
So this is also to avoid the player that were boosting their statistic by quitting and not playing for 10 minutes, but to save their statistic. So now when you quit or when you lose, you get a loss.
Great.
One of the things, I think I spoke about that one, I think good 3-4 months ago. We tweaked a lot the relaxation parameters online, but the text that is displayed when you wait for the match, when you match make, wasn't accurate. So all the relaxation on the text were happening within a few seconds, even if we're doing some relaxation during the whole minutes. So now the text that you look at, where you wait to find other players, is accurate and should really respect when we do the relaxation. Cool. So it will also let you explain when sometimes you face players from a different skill than yours. It's because you will see that the relaxation was the good one and that you waited more than a few minutes. So that's why you get that.
Cool. Let's go back to Roman.
Back to Roman.
People are getting bored, so we're going to bring Roman back out here.
Yeah. That's also a big one.
So we've made some modification to the control. So first one is alternative gamepad presets. So that's the first step toward giving more customization options in terms of control for the gamepad. Yeah. So the first one we're doing is we're giving different type of presets for the player to select, and it's especially centered around guard break and quick chat. So I think we have a video to show that.
We do have a video. Let's check it out.
Let's roll.
And that's for all platforms.
So guard break on stick or guard break on trigger, basically.
Yes, you can now choose where you want a little bit more, where you want the guard break. We're still working on giving more customization option for the controller, but we wanted to release that as a first step to help you guys.
Which was the most requested reason to do it anyway. So.
Yes. Next thing, fight control tuning. So basically, the improvement is we've added the ability to customize the angle that will trigger the stance on your right stick. Yep. So something that you will be able to do, basically, it's some people tend to do left by going a little bit down, or some people have their up a little bit on the right side, etc. So we're giving you the opportunity to remap those angles and also play with their size in order to help you find the perfect control. I think we also have a video about this.
We do. Let's check it out.
So as you can see, you can tweak not only the angle, the dead zones separately, etc. So a lot of cool things coming on that. So big thank you to our guys in Germany at Blue Byte.
Yep.
They did all of those awesome features. Thank you, guys.
Yes, and I just want to say again, those are all consoles, not
Yes.
just PC only.
Yeah, so there's the mouse and the
Yep.
stick.
Also, one last thing. It's something that was present since the launch. If you're playing with mouse and keyboard, that will now be available for everybody playing with a controller. We've given you the option to exit lock by sprinting. So that's going to be an option that you will be able to activate if you're playing with a controller to have the same type of behavior as on PC mouse and keyboard. If you want to exit faster from a duel, you will be able to activate that.
Cool.
Nice.
Great. And we did the maps with Ed already.
What did we
More.
Yeah, maps, we
now
did
it's
all the
like,
improvements, the location.
Now it's my turn.
Go!
Customization. We don't have a screen for that.
No.
I didn't ask for it. My bad.
Actually, we have one. We can do it before. And then I let you go.
Before that one?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And then I
Go
shut up.
Roman. Go Roman. Go go.
Sorry, it's because of what you did to the warlord.
Ouais, c'est ça, c'est ça.
So no, thing that still is important is on the ballista, we've improved the reliability.
Readability?
No, reliability. Anyway, of the near-miss feedback for ballista projectile.
Reliability.
Reliability.
We got it.
Reliability.
We got there.
Improve the reliability
Routers.
of the near-miss feedback for ballista projectile. So now the feedback is triggered based on the position of the player instead of the position of the camera. So that's going to be much easier to locate where the fire is coming at you if you get near missed. So this one is, for me, is important because often I get fucked with that.
Sorry,
Sorry,
cool.
go on.
Okay. Customization.
Yep.
The bars or the gauge on the stats.
There were
that-
actually
that-
screenshots of this shared during the PTS, but it
Yeah.
was bugged.
that we killed when we released the revamp are back. So in fact, they are not back. We had to redo the whole thing because they needed to work with the. Basically, before that, the gauge, and the reason why we removed the gauge, that they were only showing you the level up you've done on your item, but not the value.
Right. It was all relative.
So it was all relative, and so it was creating a lot of confusion. It was because you could be at the top of that gauge, but in the end the number wasn't that high. So we prefer to move our numbers to be super specific, super accurate, and by doing that we had to remove the gauge and to redo them. So now they really show you the value, and you will see that there is a little circle that tell you what is the zero of that value, and sometimes the zero could be far on the left or far on the right, really depending on the stat specifically.
Cool.
So they are different for each one of the stats, but they are back. So I think it will help visibility of the stats and understanding of the different stats.
Cool.
So super happy about that. On the user interface, that's more an online thing, messaging thing. We're trying to push more message in the game on stuff that are not super clear. So like, for example, on the nats, so one of the things that is obvious for us, but that could not be obvious for the players, that two red nats can't play together, but we allow them to be grouped together, to launch matchmaking together, to wait together, and then one of them get kicked off the group and say, oh, fuck, I got kicked off the group, blah, 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 stability, connectivity,
Right.
and they're unhappy.
Yep.
But it's a 100% thing. It's technical. It's not a bug. It's red nats can't speak together basically. So one of the things we're doing now is like we try to prevent those situations by saying, hey, hello, there is maybe two red nats in the same group together.
I hope
things
it's
like
really
that.
just you. You
Yeah.
pop up in the
I
game.
pop up and say,
Hey, hello.
You shouldn't
We have
do
a
that.
small gif of them here.
Yeah, so we try to basically bring more visibility on those things to help players avoid those situations.
So if your friend has a red nat, you can now call him out.
Yeah, exactly. So now, if you're red nat, you invite other player in your group. We tell you, hey, be aware of that, and we explain you how it works.
Cool.
We've also improved. So we introduced colorblind mode a few months ago.
Yep.
We're improving it because it wasn't working on the health gauge, on the stamina, and on the revenge bar. Those colors weren't adapting.
You're not
and now
gonna
they do.
you're not gonna pronounce the proper names of the specific colorblind types that we were working on.
Where are they?
They're in the.
Deuteranopia and
Sure.
Protanopia. The
Okay.
Protanopia is an easy one.
That's easy.
The other one is harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, thank you for that.
Thank you.
That's my day. Apparently.
You're really helpful today, Rick.
He said he was in a good mood when he started, so I'm trying my
So
best.
now you try to
yeah.
destroy my day.
Next week,
Roman-
you might
Roman
consider
also.
having Pascal.
Roman is trying the same thing. I love you guys.
No, but to make it clear, for the Warlord, it was not Damien issue. So people know it was not Damien.
He's being nice.
Wow.
It was
Look at
Pascal.
that.
You can
Another one, and that I want to speak about, that I need to explain. You know, we fixed a few patches ago the new option, you know, that were displayed on some of the
yes.
gear.
Yes.
But some player kept complaining, saying, "Hey, you fixed it, but on mine, it's still happening."
Yep.
And in fact, it's still happening because for the players who got the bug before, we couldn't get away of it. So we're adding an option to say just remove all notifications, all new notifications in the menu to clean, in fact,
Clear it out.
because some of the data
Nice.
were corrupted on some of the players'
Corrupted
gear.
data?
Corrupted data. That's insane. And so the only way to fix those corrupted data, we can't fix it. So the only way is to clear the cache.
Right.
And to clear the cache, we've added that option in the menu. So super.
It's such a minor thing, but people are. I hear
it's-
about it every other day.
Yeah. So
I'm glad that we're finally.
I'm
doing
happy about that one.
now you can say clear your corrupted data.
Yes.
Corrupted
Yes.
data. One of the other thing in the same way of giving more visibility about what's going on the online aspect of the game, we're adding 4 new, and I'm surprised that's in the patch because I haven't reviewed it.
Oh, good.
But it's okay.
Good stuff.
It's okay. I thought it would come in another one.
Okay.
So, surprise! It's
We
here.
all learn
That's cool.
things
That's cool.
from the Warriors.
So we're adding icons to warn the player when things are happening in the background, things related to their connectivity, internet stability, and things like that. So we have 4 types of icon. One that is specific to PC, that is telling you low FPS. Low FPS. So if you're too low FPS, not everybody is aware of that. But if you're too low FPS, we kick you off the game because it impacts the simulation of everyone. So we warn you before now by showing you the icon. But if you're too low, that's one of the reasons that kick you out of the game. So then you have to go back to the presets, to your options, graphic options, to have a better FPS. Cool.
Because if you have a low FPS, why do we kick you out of the game? It's because you're impacting the performances of everybody in the game.
Yeah.
You're making everybody lag. You're creating rollbacks. Not only the lag impact the timings and the rollbacks, but also the FPS of somebody lagging has also that type of impact.
Yeah, yeah. Then we're also telling you now, and that's for console and PC, we're telling you where you have high packet loss. We're telling you where you have a high latency, and we're telling you where you have a high latency variations. So you will see those pop, and if you see them a lot or often, or they stay, they might tell you that you might be kicked off that session specifically for one of those reasons or several of them at the same time. So it's also a way for us to educate players on those issues.
on their own connectivity.
On their home connectivity, if you're, I don't know, using their Wi-Fi or stuff like that, that could create some of those. So it's also to educate and to help everybody to get better connectivity and in the end better matches, stability with everybody.
Just
Cool.
to make it clear, because apparently Pascal is saying that we're not drunk, we're tired. The last weeks have been pretty intense, and it's supposed to be our lunch break, so we are hungry,
We're
tired, angry. Yes, we're a little bit.
And we have a team meeting in 1 hour where we present some stuff to the team. Anyway,
Damien
So-
probably is drunk, to be honest. Let's just
I
put it out
am
there.
not drunk. I ran a half marathon on 40 degrees Celsius last Sunday, and it was cool, but I should have run the marathon, so I'm really pissed. Yes, that's a small one, but it's personal to me, to my heart, and I think it will help the incoming game mode events that we will do. You know, in custom games, we tell you when you modify some of the options, we tell you when you press the trigger in the face-off, what are the options modified, so that you can be aware of what's like no revenge or stuff like that. It's something we're adding to all playlists. So now when you launch Realistic Dominion, for example, you will see in details what are the stuff we change on the options.
Cool.
So that's a small one, but a cool one as well.
And then we have like 3
And
pages of
I
bug
think
fixes.
And then
I'm
there's a
done
shit ton
because
of
then
bug
there is
fixes.
like 3 pages of bug fixes.
But maybe you can give the
But-
main categories.
Yeah, so we did some bug fixes on the user interface, on the customization, PC-specific bugs. Maybe there is the RA thing you want to
Yeah,
speak
we already
about.
did that, actually.
You already did
Yep.
that.
Yes.
Maps.
So maps.
Dual Tournament has some fixes.
Steam controller.
Yeah, that's 4
PC
pages
controller.
of bug fixes.
There was one
Lot of
map-specific
stuff.
one that I wanted to call out, which is actually not in the notes.
Sound of effects that were sometimes not triggering at the right time,
Yes.
you know. So we had a lot of those on Reddit as well.
Yes, but
so-
one Damien that I want to call out is
Yeah.
found this out yesterday. It didn't make it into the notes, so I apologize, but this is true. This patch also fixes on the Sentinel map. The middle lane had a bug where it would not, so like the minions would not neutralize it quickly enough. It had a little bug there, so that's been fixed. So that sort of was giving an unfair advantage to one side versus the other. That's been taken care of. Ooh, it's a lot of notes.
Small patch.
Do we do a Q&A or not?
Nope, because we
Okay.
don't have time, but we do have time for our community corner.
So Q&A next week.
Sure.
About the
What I did
patch?
do is we have a thread basically every week on the competitive subreddit where we get a lot of our questions, and I took some time yesterday to pop in and answer the ones that I had answers to. So
Cool.
you at least have some answers. We'll have more next week with these guys. But for now, we'll run through some quick, fun, and cool and interesting clips. And but first, we have the
The
transition
video.
video. He's not listening to me.
No.
Max isn't listening to me. So my list is a little bit incorrect here. I pasted in the wrong list. There's a couple that we removed. But anyway, let's jump into it. McLaren on YouTube. Oh, thanks. McLaren on YouTube. This is a video, the best For Honor multi-kill ever. Ever.
Let's see that.
It's very good.
Can
That's
you do
a
again the
real
ninja sound?
Orochi.
please?
No, I won't do it.
Who,
That was only for you guys.
who is the true ninja, the shinobi or the Orochi?
You tell me.
Who knows?
Subjective answer. This one's really
I
stupid.
think it's Damien, based on the sound he made
Sure.
during the video.
That's true. He was making anime sounds. This one's a really dumb one, but it made me laugh, so we're showing it. It's a 3-second gif called "Do the Stanky Leg." It's dumb. I'm warning you. There you go. It's just that. It's just that. They're all doing the same dance. I warned everybody. Okay, next one. Zac Flynn on
It's easy to
YouTube.
please.
I'm very easy to.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a skill.
It's a cheap date.
That's true. Which you need to be when you hang out with Damien. Damien's very cheap. All right, this is from Zac Flynn. Don't mess with the Nobushi. This one's pretty badass.
You captured Zone C.
Not bad.
Pretty deadly Nobushi. Okay, this is from a frequent contributor here, Hell Euphoria. Against the Odds. We've done a bunch of these Against the Odds videos that he's done. This is Against the Odds number 18, a 3v1 Annihilation Dominion.
That was his ramp.
That's very good. Okay, this one is, so in the last week I've really gotten into Slavic memes.
Okay.
Yeah, they have their own world of wonderful memes that I had been overlooking until now. And so this,
That's your own personal research.
you know,
Field of expertise.
So easy to please.
I'm doing my dissertation on internet memology. So this is from Havoc on YouTube. This is a For Honor version of one of the best Slavic memes, Tripolowski For Honor. Let's check it out.
Три полоски, 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 три полоски. Хардас тусовки, Адидас кроссовки. Три полоски, три полоски, три полоски. Три полоски, Хардас тусовки, Адидас кроссовки. Три полоски, три полоски, на штанах полоски, три зачетных соски. Три полоски, три полоски. Мы не боимся, в углах не таимся. Три полоски, три полоски. Здесь все тусуют, под Хардас танцуют.
Well done, Havoc.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Pascal tells me the chat liked that one. Keep it up. Okay. Born Blazed. Amazing plunge kill. This one's ridiculous. It gets a little loud. I don't know if we mute the audio at the end, but these guys celebrate loudly. So this is pretty cool. Let's check it out.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
You gargoyle can be fucking new.
I was expecting a counter guard. I was anticipating a counter guard break. It was my fault. I was anticipating a guard break, so you know, I was going for the counter.
He's on the outside. Plunge. Plunge him.
I can't plunge him.
You can't. Oh shit.
I'm faster than you. Where do you think you're going?
Get him!
Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm recording that. I'm saving that. Oh my god.
Flying Highlander.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. I think that reaction was worth it. Oh, hey, I've got another one from Hell Euphoria this week. This is actually our longest one of the show too. This is the 10-man Slayer Highlander. So more badass Highlander gameplay right now.
You captured Zone B.
hope so. Well done.
So we have to share this one during that video. So first, it's a really good video.
Yes.
Yeah, really
But we learned that Damien has a name for that type of music. It's epic spa music.
Yes.
So do you picture Damien in a spa
Spends a lot of time in a spa listening to music like
Don't
that,
picture
apparently.
that.
with a whiskey?
In a towel. It's like
Epic
that.
spa music.
After a marathon.
Wow. Hey, whatever floats your boat, Damien. Now we have a GIF, a bit dull. That's his name. This is not a dull GIF. It's a Kensei 1v2 in 10
Kensei.
seconds. Here he is.
Come on.
Your favorite.
No epic spa music.
No epic spam.
This
Allez,
Oh.
nice.
Yes. That could have benefited from the
Kensei
epic spa
skill.
music. Okay, Fawn119, you saved me.
You saved me.
I did not knew you main Warden also. I did not knew you main Warden.
But what I like is that he revives her afterwards.
Yeah,
They're like,
and
sorry.
she says, you saved me. Terrible. All right, this is our last one from our old friend Zero Crack, our Irish friend. This is just a tribute. Tribute. This is a 4v4 objective mode, which is what people have been thirsting for.
Mode. This is just a tribute.
You're never gonna catch me. Can we add that as a
love
sound
those
effect?
videos.
The bottle uncorking. I like it. It's
Yeah,
good.
I like it too.
All right, that is our show. That was a long show. Thank you for joining us. I hope you found what we shared interesting. The full patch notes, I think, are going up in maybe an hour or so on our website. So check out forhonorgame.com for the full patch notes. Soon. I don't think they're up yet, but soon. I think the raffle has already begun in the chat, so raffle it up. And we'll be back
Enjoy
next
XP
week.
Fest.
You wanted to mention something about XP Steel Sale, XP Fest.
Yeah, no, it's just that when we're discussing about it, is that it's not clear for everyone, but champion status goes on top of XP Fest. So
it could be a good
it
use
could
of
be
your steel
interesting, yeah,
to buy a champion status
have
to
a
even
champion
further
status
increase your XP
to,
gain.
not exploit, but to I don't know what's the word.
And food.
Well, thanks everybody. We'll be
That's a
back.
good thing to do.
We'll be back next week with more Warriors Den, and the patch, remember, comes out next Thursday the 5th. Thank you.
Thank you.